Hey guys! Hey everybody, it's me, Zach, and welcome back to my channel. This is Judy, and today we are here to discuss a little bit about our girl, Amberlynn Reid, and her most recent Instagram Q&A. So if y'all don't follow her on Instagram, she has a history of doing Instagram Q&As where she just answers questions. She usually finds some kind of way to be messy within those questions. In the past, it's involved her saying things about me, saying things about Michael B. Petty. It frequently involves her talking about how much people hate her, XYZ things. Today was really, truly no different. She's clearly trying to stir up some kind of drama, and she talked about a number of things, including a really I don't know. I don't want to pass judgment, but a poem. She posted a poem about I guess how she's feeling right now, along with other things about her mental health. And I think all of those things deserve conversation, and I'm not prepared to talk about them in this video. Now, what I am prepared to talk about in this video is that she responded to a question about the GoFundMe scam. And if you've seen videos over the past 6 months from me, I've talked a lot about this. I even throw it in every once in a while when I'm what kind of, when Amberlynn's asking what kind of content I want to see, I'm usually saying, show me some stuff about the GoFundMe scam. I want to hear about that. So it's no surprise that today, whenever she did this, people sent me screenshots of it. Plus, as you know, I follow her from Judy's Instagram, and that's how I see it, because I'm blocked on my regular Instagram. Now, if you're new to Amberlynn Reid and or my channel and or just all of this, then let me give you the most brief overview of the GoFundMe scam that I can. Now, before I get into that, let me say I did do another video on the GoFundMe scam when this was a current event in the life of Amberlynn, and I'll link that down below and up in the iCards. I will also give you a link to Aphrodite's Peach, her channel. I love her channel in general. This is a glowing recommendation for me, but also she did 2 really elaborate videos that covered really all of the events of the GoFundMe time period, okay? So, quick overview. Amberlynn and Becky went on camera, begged people for money, said, "Hi, Becky's mom has cancer. Please support her. Please donate to this GoFundMe. It's linked down below." Okay, great. That's, I think, an okay thing to ask people for. Certainly nobody has to give anybody money if they don't want to. Cool, we're good, whatever. In addition to that video, they also had promised, I think in that video, if I remember correctly, that they would do a follow-up video with Becky's mom, Norma, talking a little bit more about her experience and why this money meant a lot to her. The GoFundMe raised around $3,000, and it's actually if you really search for it, it's still out there on the internet, so you can go find this GoFundMe and see how much they raised. It was $3,063 or something like that. So where the drama comes in, where the scam part of the GoFundMe scam comes in, is that Norma's husband, Jerry, has an ex-wife, and she found her way onto the Kiwi Farms, which is a forum that talks about Amberlynn Reid among many other internet personalities. And on Kiwi Farms, Norma's husband's ex-wife started talking about a lot of things, but what is relevant most to this situation is mostly that Norma's husband, Jerry, was retired from the Navy, and thus his health insurance should be covering most of the expenses that Norma needs when it comes to her health care. And so that's kind of where the drama began. Like I said, I'm not going to get into all the details, but also Jerry's ex-wife shared a lot more in addition to that. So there was a lot going on at the time. As a result of the posts on Kiwi Farms, then Becky's sister Misty took to Twitter, started saying all kinds of heinous things about all kinds of people, I'm pretty sure she wished cancer on some people, if I remember correctly. It was a whole mess. And after Misty started going cray, then Amberlynn said, okay, let's take down the video. And then we never got a follow-up from Norma. We never saw a video with Norma. Amberlynn brushed everything kind of quickly under the rug, and she didn't really talk about it a whole lot outside of one time, which we'll get to a little bit later. So that's pretty much a quick overview. Like I said, I'll link some videos down below that you can go if you really want to catch up on it and you weren't aware of what the GoFundMe scam was about. I will leave some links. Like I said, Aphrodite's Peach, she did a exquisite job of covering that event at the time, so you can go catch up there. So now let me get into the actual post from Amberlynn itself. The question that she was asked was, why won't you address the GoFundMe scam? Why do you always lie? And Amberlynn's response was, because it wasn't a scam. The money was used for exactly what it said. Medical bills and everything cancer related. She used every single penny for it, and she's still very appreciative. I'm not sure where this whole go scam me started, because it's a pretty awful thing to say about something you have no idea about. If you pray, please send prayers their way. Please always keep Becky and her mom in your thoughts. It's much needed right now. One of my main concerns about this whole post from Amberlynn today is that it misses the mark about what the GoFundMe scam was actually all about. It presents it as though people at the time were concerned about the legitimacy of Norma's cancer, and quite honestly, that was not what the main concern was at the time. Now, certainly there were some people, probably folks who were primarily trolling, that question whether Norma really had cancer or not, but by and large, most people did not question the legitimacy of Norma's cancer. From my recollection, it was mostly based on whether or not Jerry's insurance from the Navy could actually cover the costs. And then once people started questioning that, it led into other things like, does she really need gas money to get to this place? Is this the closest place? Does the place where she's getting treatment have shuttles set up? So they were just like, after the Jerry insurance stuff came out, then everybody started talking about all the other places where, I don't know, does Norma really need this money or not? And that is what people were concerned about the scam. It's not to say that Norma did or did not spend money on those things, because maybe she actually did spend money on those things, but the real question is, did she really need to spend money on those things if there were other options available? Further, it says a lot right now that we are being asked to rely on Amberlynn's word. I mean, quite honestly, we have not gotten any updates since around September. I think if you go back to the actual GoFundMe, the last update from Norma was like September 27th. And then outside of that, Amberlynn hasn't really talked about it a whole lot on her channel. So we are expected to take her word that this is what happened. And to be quite honest, Amberlynn doesn't have a good track record of telling the truth. In fact, she is acting like in this post she doesn't know anything about the GoFundMe scam and why people think it's a scam, but she's definitely acknowledged it before in an Instagram live stream.
I'm not a scammer. Everything I said in that video was exactly told to me, and what you guys heard is what I knew. What I thought I knew. Does that make sense? So it's just, I'm getting really annoyed with that. Like, honestly, people just have no idea what they're talking about half the time.
So you can see from that live stream that it kind of sounds like what Amberlynn might be saying is that she reported on things at the time as she understood the truth to be. But the reality is that it sounds like she's saying, after the fact, I got more information and I couldn't have known that at the time. I was just reporting on what I knew. Now, I might be misinterpreting that, but honestly, at the time of that live stream, I feel like that's the way a lot of people took it, was that Amberlynn was saying, listen, I learned a bunch of stuff since then, and I didn't know it at the time of filming. Now, did she apologize for that? No. Did she take accountability for that? No. She didn't take any accountability for anything. She just played it off of like, you can't blame me. I didn't know. I didn't know at the time of filming that. And so, girl, if you want me to trust you, then you gotta stop acting like you don't know anything about what the concerns are. Because at this point, there have been many videos made about it. There have been many people who have discussed it. I'm sure you've gotten many comments and DMs and emails that have outlined the specifics of what people are concerned about. So I don't buy this like acting brand new thing that you're doing here where you don't understand why some people might think that this was a scam. Quite frankly, I don't really trust much of what she has to say in general, but in particular about the GoFundMe scam. Now, the last part of this that I want to cover is just the part where she asks for prayers for Becky and Becky's mom. Now, before I get too far into this part, let me be clear. I hope for the best of everybody and their health and safety, and so I really hope and am sending positive vibes to Becky's mom. I hope that she is doing well health-wise, and I'm keeping her in my thoughts. With that being said, I think there's some things we need to talk about. Like I said, we've received very few health updates about Norma, so it's hard to say what the actual status of her health is. Now, that's probably by Norma's choice, and that's great because honestly, Norma probably, outside of asking Becky and Amberlynn to make that video, didn't really ask to be a part of this. And I think she learned pretty quickly, I don't want to be a part of this. So if she doesn't want to give health updates, that's fine. However, I want to take you over the most recent events that have happened on Amberlynn Reid's channel. So you might recall that Amberlynn Reid did a, I don't know, pandemic food hoard in a whole video that took place the week of March 16th where she stored up a whole bunch of food and then in the same video let the whole folks know watching at home that somebody somehow accidentally unplugged the freezer.
A lot of people were just like literally so confused, which I understand. So I'm gonna start saying the dates. It's March 16th today. It is a day before St. Patrick's Day, so I have a little bit of green and some St. Patrick earrings. Hello, so this is me in the future. It's a week after I filmed that clip. I'm actually currently trying to upload this video and I'm having a hard time doing so, but I'm gonna keep trying. So it is a week after this clip and I didn't notice this, but the freezer got unplugged. I don't know how. And it's easy not to notice because the plug-in is actually behind our trash cans. So it's not something that we look at. It's never happened before. I went in there today, which again, it's a week after that clip, and I was going to make me some meat. So I was going to take it out and let it thaw. And when I went to grab it, it was like mush and I smell a really weird smell. And I investigated and it turned out that everything in the freezer went bad and it happened really quickly. And at first I thought it was broken, but then I noticed that it was unplugged. We had to throw away everything because it stunk so bad. I don't even know how it could happen so quickly. So yeah, now we have no frozen foods. So I just had to tell you guys that it seems like, this is just not my week at all.
In addition to that, when she did an update and weigh-in video on April 1st, she reported to us that one of the reasons that she was so anxious about the current events in the country and the world was that 2 people that worked with Ricky were positively tested for the virus. And she was super worried about how that might impact her and other people around her.
And I think also something that is terrifying me is there are 2 cases at Ricky's work, and that is just 2 known cases. And he comes home and he takes the precautions he needs to take, and he takes those precautions at work, and his work is trying to take precautions. It's just, they still have to work. It's just, it scares me. I don't want the people around me to get it. I don't want me to get it. I know a lot of people right now with weak immune systems or certain health problems, including me. So it is scary. And, you know, social distancing or being locked into your state where you can't leave your state, because that's currently what we're dealing with, and having all these stores closed and only essential things open, you know, that's you doing your part, which is amazing. It's doing my part.
Since that video on April 7th, she posted another video that was a 43-minute Q&A that answered a myriad of questions, but one of the questions she answered was what actually happened with the freezer.
Who unplugged the freezer and stole a Laughing Cow cheese wedge? Love that for me. Who unplugged the freezer? Easy mistake. Don't know. Becky and I actually stayed at her mom's house. It was literally we came back the day that I noticed that it was unplugged. So we could have done it prior to staying at her mom's house, or it could have happened when we were gone, but there's no way of knowing because it was a complete accident.
So obviously we have quite a timeline going on here. If we are to believe every single thing that Amberlynn has told us, that she really doesn't know how the freezer came unplugged because she was actually at Becky's mom's house, then that has me wanting to know a lot of things. I've got a lot of questions. Particularly, this suggests that sometime after March 16th, Becky and Amberlynn went and visited her mom, who has an underlying health condition, who she recently or still does have cancer. In the state of Kentucky, the governor urged people to start practicing social distancing as early as March 11th, which is obviously before March 16th, which is before the freezer incident happened. The social distancing guidelines suggest that people stay away from folks who have underlying health conditions, and that people who have those conditions should stay home and stay away from all other people. I think at this point you could put two and two together that it's possible, between Ricky's coworkers being exposed to the virus, being tested positive for it, to Ricky being exposed to it, to Ricky bringing that and potentially exposing Eric and Amberlynn and Becky to it, to Amberlynn and Becky going and visiting Becky's mom, that like Amberlynn and Becky have put her mom in a compromised place. So yes, if you pray, please absolutely do pray for Becky. Pray for Becky's family. I hope the best for them. But I also want folks to remember that like Amberlynn is out here looking for sympathy when she's not even being cautious or thoughtful about the way that she's going through this whole pandemic here in the world and in the country. I really hope the best for her. I hope the best for all of Becky's family. But I've got a lot of questions, and quite honestly, shit's not adding up. If we're being super honest, shit is not adding up. I just want Amberlynn to be honest about the GoFundMe, or just don't talk about it at all. If you can't be honest, don't bring it up at all. Because nobody said she had to answer this question. Nobody said she had to do anything, but she said, you know what, this might be a good opportunity for me to get some sympathy via Becky's mom. And I don't have time for it. I don't. Actually, why don't you just let Norma live in peace at this point? Like, let Norma go do whatever Norma's gonna do. So anyways, like I said, that was just one of many things that were questionable on Amberlynn's Instagram. If you want to go see those, hopefully this still gets posted within 24 hours and you can go to her Instagram and check those out. Also, lots of people are talking about it on Twitter, so go follow me, and I've been liking some tweets and things like that and responding to other tweets, so you can go check that out there too, and maybe some other content creators will also make some commentary on this as well. But this is all I got for today, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and this is your first video with me, make sure to click subscribe down below, hit the bell button so you get a notification every single time I go live on my channel. Also, leave me some comments, hit the like button, and follow me on all of my social media. I had so much fun with you all today. I hope you did too, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!